All right, everyone. Welcome to this daily Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for Wednesday, April 4th, 2018. All right, so today we do have the moon shifting into deep Scorpio. So the next couple days, really good for diving deep with life in general, really connecting to what matters most. And the way of getting there is maybe facing some fears, getting vulnerable. This type of stuff can be great with the moon in Scorpio. So with this, we do have a collectively challenging energy as well, with Mercury squaring up to Mars and Saturn. So there could be a bit of perhaps clash with communication or needing to practice non-attachment to communication and seeing things maybe collectively a bit densely, but great time to see things realistically and maybe take some proactive steps towards communication or a routine that is a way that's non-attached and grounded. All right, so let's look at all of this here in more detail when we return. All right, so here's the sky for this Wednesday. Again, this video is for Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to the channel, check out that link down below because we are using the actual size of the constellations, which does change the signs from mainstream astrology. All right, so Scorpio, the moon here. Not the easiest place for the moon. The moon's actually debilitated in Scorpio, but there is, as always, constructive ways of working with the energy. So in this case, you know, the moon are usually our feelings that wants privacy and security. But when the moon goes into Scorpio, it really unveils all of this. Scorpio is about unveiling the hidden. Right, and even a lot of the stuff we've brushed under the rug, so to speak, in the past comes to the forefront. But so do our vulnerabilities and our fears and our traumas and our triggers, things like this. So excellent time for today and really the next day, day and a half, you know, today and the next, let's say 2 days, really good for diving deep with life. Accepting what does come up, because it's through the acceptance that we heal, we transform. Seeing if there is anything that we can face some fears with perhaps, or do some healing with, and be vulnerable with, both with ourselves, with relationships, and just with life in general, can be great with the moon here, and we could notice some themes pertaining to that. All right, so we still do have a lot of watery energy with Pisces though. Still a very etheric time, still a time of learning about our trusting our intuition, being receptive in life, and essentially, you know, accepting what is in the context of the present moment, which does lead to peace and tranquility, which is a lot of what we're learning right now with both Mercury and the Sun in Pisces. All right, so along with those placements, we do have a couple of challenging aspects going exact this middle part of the week. We do have Mercury squaring up to Mars, going exact today. And as we go into tomorrow, that's square up to Saturn. So the Mars side of it, which we may have felt a little bit yesterday, does give a bit of this collective sort of attachment to what we want to communicate or say, or what we're thinking about, or maybe what we're even trying to do with our routines. There's sort of these needs, this sort of strong attachment to what we want. So as I was saying in yesterday's video, really good to practice non-attachment to what we want, right? Especially if it's involving the communication or the routine, because there is this collectively rash energy, aggressive energy even, right? Because the attachments are really strong with the ego. So extra conscious attention to that can help us be non-attached and respond to things versus react, whether it's, again, communication or even our routine. Good to bring extra attention to what we're doing, just so there's no mishaps or, accidents or anything like that. It's not saying there will be, but it's that kind of energy. We do want to be conscious of what we're doing. But I also think too, if there's anything that you feel like there's an action you can take that maybe will require some initiative to take, or something that needs to be communicated, or something that needs to be done but requires confidence and courage and initiative to do that, great day for this. Another very constructive way of working with this, if there is anything like that for you today. All right, and then as the day unfolds, we do have this more serious energy with Saturn and Mercury. This will be increasing as we get into tomorrow. So if there's anything that we can see realistically, great. It is a great time to see things realistically, but not too realistically, to where it becomes dense or heavy. You know, densify with Saturn. Saturn is the reality of things, at least what we perceive as the reality of things, but that can also be something that weighs on us and is heavy. So good to see the reality and then take the constructive approach to building for the long term, essentially. You know, earlier in the week we had Mars and Saturn in this conjunction, which is more neutral, where we started to collectively develop this longer term perspective, this patience, this more disciplined approach to things. And so this part of the week is great to essentially integrate that, all right, to initiate this, to challenge ourselves to do this with this kind of collectively challenging energy. All right, so with Mars, it's more of the, all right, active, we want it now, personal needs. Conscious attention there can help balance that out and maybe will ourselves, if there's not enough initiative we need to take with something involving communication or routine. Great day, can be very constructive. And then the square to Saturn, seeing things realistically but not too realistically. Again, conscious attention on the self can help do that. And then constructively, if there is anything that we can do, say, that involves the long term, that involves the patient perspective, or think about things in a patient perspective, excellent, excellent time to integrate that. All right, we do get a little bit of support with the moon and Mercury. Actually, the moon will be trining Mercury, easing this up a little bit, which is nice the later part of the day. Nothing major, but it's nice to see that there is some support with the moon with these squares with Mercury. All right, so yep, that's the day in a nutshell. Collectively, great time to challenge ourselves, great time for personal growth, personal development, anything like that. And just, again, maybe willing ourselves to take some initiative with some of these things involving the longer term, involving communication and our routine. Again, the moon in Scorpio, great time to be aware of if there are any deep things that do arise within or without, and accepting them really does lead to that transformation and healing. All right, so have a great day, everyone. Thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that like button and the bell button if you want to stay up to date on these daily forecasts, and I'll see you all tomorrow for the daily forecast.